Mark Felix is the second athlete to announce that this year's World's Strongest Man contest is going to be his last. So last week, Mark Felix was confirmed as the 28th athlete to compete at this year's World's Strongest Man. And a few days ago, he announced himself that this will be his last appearance at World's Strongest Man. Now, he's not retiring from the sport completely. He still wants to compete in Giants live shows and other contests. But this will be his last World's Strongest Man, his 18th appearance at the show.
And of course, he's not the only one this year who's announced that this will be his last. Brian Shaw, four-time winner, is making 2023 his last too. So it really is the end of an era. Like you say, the landscape of World's Strongest Man is changing so quickly, it feels like.
Yes, there's so many new guys coming through now, and you would say that these are the last two of like that older generation.
Yeah, probably,
two of these two athletes having competed at World's Strongest Man, I think 18 times, and it will be 16 times for Brian.
That's right. This will be their 16th and 18th, yeah.
Wow.
So we love a stat and fact on this channel, don't we, Lozzie? So
we do indeed.
We thought it would be fun to have a little look at their careers at World's Strongest Man. Starting with Mark Felix.
So I think the first fact has to be that this will be Mark Felix's 18th appearance at World's Strongest Man. He is the current leader in terms of most appearances at World's Strongest Man, having done 17 as of last year, breaking his own record this year. And I really can't see anyone breaking this record for a very, very long time.
No, when you look at the guys competing now, the ones who have been to Worlds the most, Luke Stockman with 8, Adam Bishop with 8, there's a couple of guys with 7 and 6. Like Janasha, but I just don't see them doing 10 more.
You can't see it, especially as we know Brian is announced that this is his retirement as well, so he'll be on 16. I cannot see anyone catching this for a very long time.
No. So Mark's first appearance at the World's Strongest Man was back in 2004, and his highest placing to date is 4th, which he managed in 2006.
When the group stages begin this year, Mark Felix will break the record for the oldest athlete ever at World's Strongest Man. He'll be 57 years and 3 days old.
And Mark is already the oldest man to make the finals of World's Strongest Man, which he managed in 2015 when he was 49 years and 9 days old. I don't know about you, Lozzie, but I'll never forget that moment because the stones, this was in Malaysia, and it was double points on the stones, and it had been raining heavily in the afternoon, and they had to very quickly get the stones done, and Mark panicked, didn't he? Because Colin Price shouted at him.
I remember it well, but he managed to keep his composure and he put in a great performance on the stones. So this is a really interesting fact. Mark Felix has won 24 events across the finals and the group stages at World's Strongest Man, and that actually puts him in 8th position overall. Yeah. That's an amazing stat to have.
Yeah. So speaking of amazing stats, let's look at Brian Shaw's, because not many people have had a career like Brian.
No.
So as we already mentioned, this will be Brian Shaw's 16th appearance at the World's Strongest Man, and Brian holds the record for the most finals at World's Strongest Man, which stands at 14 currently.
He also has the record for the most consecutive finals, which is 14 as well, which just shows incredible consistency. The ability to kind of look after your body over such a prolonged period of time is a testament to the way he kind of puts his training together and focuses on peaking for certain competitions.
Brian has won the competition 4 times, but he has made the podium a total of 10 times, and that is also a record that he shares with Zydrunas Savickas.
Can he get it for himself?
Ooh, it's possible.
Another extremely impressive record is the fact that Brian Shaw has won 59 events at World's Strongest Man across the heats and the finals, the most out of anyone in terms of event wins at World's Strongest Man. So Brian's competed in a total of 167 events at World's Strongest Man. Winning 59 means he has a percentage win of 35%.
Brian also won his group at World's Strongest Man 12 times in a row every year from 2010 to 2021. That's a record, and it was only put to a halt by Mitch Hooper last year.
So Brian and Mark have inspired so many people to get into strongman, to get into fitness, and you know, it's going to be a real changing of the guard not seeing these guys at World's Strongest Man. My question is, right, one last time, how do we think they can do? I mean, realistically, Brian is still a threat. Brian
Yeah.
is still one of the best strongmen on the planet. A podium, potentially maybe a win, is definitely within his reach.
Yeah.
Mark is going to be more looking to make the final. I think if Mark can kind of put himself in a threat to get into a stone off, then he's got a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. Depending on who he's up against in that stone off. Mark's a great stone lifter.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people say, you may have seen me saying that I think other people have kind of surpassed Mark since, and I wanted to kind of just put this out there at the end of this video. Mark Felix is one of the most inspirational men I've ever met. At 57, he's still doing things that I can't do at 40. I am just an advocate for pushing to see the new guard, the best new guys come through. That doesn't mean I won't be supporting Mark, and it doesn't mean he's not with a chance. He is incredibly good at certain events still.
Yeah, and 2 years ago he was in a stone off battle. Unfortunately for Mark, it was against Tom Stoltman.
That's not the person you want to be in a stone off against. But Mark has events where he's exceptionally good at arm over arms. Deadlift he's still really good at. He's very good at things like car walks and yokes. His grip is phenomenal.
Farmer's walk.
So those type of events he is still a threat on. And if everything lined up perfectly for him, there is a chance he makes the final. I wish him the best. I wish Brian Shaw the best. It's going to be an exciting last World's Strongest Man for both of them. How do you guys think that Mark and Brian can do at this year's World's Strongest Man? And do you think anyone can ever beat that record? 18 World's Strongest Man appearances or 12 group wins in a row from Brian? Or will we ever see an older athlete get to World's Strongest Man, 57 years old and still competing with the best in the world? Absolutely incredible. Take care, guys. We'll catch you soon.